ready for the revolution? Come on, what you say? Do you want a revolution? Say, do you want a revolution? Come on. Say what? Do you want a revolution? Come on, do you want a revolution?
Sick and tired of my brothers killing each other. Sick and tired of daddies leaving babies with their mothers. To every man that wanna lay around and play around.
Yes, sir.
Listen, buddy, you be man enough to stay around. Sick and tired of the church talking religion, but yet we talk about each other. Make a decision.
Come on.
No more racism.
No.
Two racism.
No.
No pollution.
No.
No solution.
No. Come on. Yes, sir. Listen. Do you want a revolution? I say, do you want a revolution? Come on. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Listen. Do you want a revolution? I say, do you want a revolution?
No crime.
No.
No dying.
No.
Politicians lying. Everybody's trying
That's right.
to make a dollar. It makes me wanna holler.
Come on.
The way to do my life, the way to do my life. There's gonna be a brighter day. All your troubles will pass away.
Hallelujah.
A revolution's coming, yes, it's coming, coming. Revolution's coming, yes, it's coming. Revolution's coming,
Listen. Listen. Do you want a revolution? I say, do you want a revolution? Come on. Yes, sir. All my people, do you want a revolution? I say, do you want a revolution? Say, what you feeling, what you want, son? Who you calling to, son? You know Jesus is the true son, the second in the Trinity. I know you feeling him. 500 days left into the new millennium. You hearing them trumpets and the sky cracks. The last, the first, the last. It won't pass. So don't be caught slipping, brother. Don't be tripping, brother. Cause when I see him, I'm giving
When we
really
go,
good
they
up.
say we move too much, we do too much, and if you step against us, then you lose too much.
Giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
Good morning, good people. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live. We are streaming live on YouTube, and of course, I am your host, Will Skywalker. Still, boom. So only hope. One question: do you want a revolution, Cowboys Nation? Boy, we need one. The Cowboys fall to 3-7 for Mike McCarthy's first 5-game losing streak in 13 years. We're going to talk about it. We got good, bad, and ugly from this game. A couple of injury updates as well in the roundup, man. But I'd say this every time. Win, lose, or draw, I'm here for it all. And one thing I'm going to do, not a lot to smile about, but we're going to have fun every single day, or at least try to. You know, we're going to at least try to have fun. But good morning, Bomb Squad. How we doing?
Bomb Squad!
I was sitting here thinking, I'm like, you know what, man? Monetization, whatever, yeah. I might have to just play DJ before the show every single week just to kind of get me going. No, don't get me wrong. Optimistic sounds black. Like, that gets me going, too. But I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to play a little DJ Sky with y'all. You know, I don't know about every day. I ain't saying every single day, but maybe every Monday or something like that. Kind of get us up a little bit, get our spirits going. And today I was just feeling like, you know what? We need a revolution. And sometimes I'll pop in Kirk Franklin to get me going. And that's one of my favorite bangers from Kirk. So, you know. And y'all, look, if you know, you know. Kirk had some bangers back in the day, and that was definitely one of them. But I hope everybody is good. Last night was interesting. You know, I hate primetime games. I absolutely hate them during this type of season. And I really hate them when it's on a Monday. And, you know, the game lingers on because of penalties and this and that. And here I am. So apologies for being tardy, Cowboys Nation. But I am here. We are live for the A to Z Sports Live show. Skywalker Morning Show brought to you by Specs. If you want to call in today, voice your, I don't know if you want to call it frustrations or just kind of give me your thoughts and opinions on last night, you can. All right, we're going to jump into this roundup. We are going to get out of the roundup and talk about the good, bad, and ugly. And then at the end of everything, Jerry Jones, and I don't listen to Jerry a whole lot. I don't. But Jerry Jones said something in his walk-off or his whatever he does after the games. I don't think he realized he admitted a huge mistake. He admitted he was wrong without saying it. I got y'all. Let's do it.
It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time! It is time for...
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
Let me talk to you. Yeah!
Oh, Stomp's a banger. Stomp's a banger. I mean, it's just a couple. I'm getting twisted. Kirk had some bangers, man. You don't even have to be religious to bang with Kirk back in the day. So every week, man, it feels like the Cowboys, it just piles on for injuries, and last night was no different. There were two key injuries in that game, Guyton and Ferguson, and I want to talk about the former first, and that's Tyler Guyton. Oh boy. It's impossible to talk about Guyton's injury without talking about the ridiculous goofball play of the game. A trifecta, if you will. He gets beat bad, which leads to the sack fumble. He scoops the ball, proceeds to try to score a 70-yard touchdown, fumbles it back to the Texans for a scoop score for them. And then he injures his shoulder. Left the game. Awesome Richards subbed in for him. About 12 minutes left in that game. Cowboys were down 17. It was all but over. But he closed out the game, held his own. You know, aside from a holding penalty and a few questionable reps, I think he got in and out of there pretty clean. We're gonna talk about the O-line because boy, it was so night and day from the first half to the second half. Just gotta laugh, man. And then you had Jake Ferguson, who, you know, on his first target, first reception, nice play, right? Quick slant, gets the ball on him, gets upfield, gets some yak, but he falls face first into the ground, and he suffers a concussion. Jeez. Suffers a concussion. And that concussion took him out the game. It's, you know, it's not just Jake. This whole entire year has been disappointing, but from top to bottom, our best players, even Jake Ferguson, right? Dak and Lamb and everybody, it just hasn't been the type of year you want from them. And the injuries just keep piling on to it. You've lost a lot of these guys already, and now Jake is probably going to be out with a concussion. So he'll probably miss another game, which will be 2. He had the knee earlier in the season and likely going to, I mean, he could get better, but let's be real. They don't play about these concussion protocols. So I don't really see him being out there. But I did think the tight ends came in and played well, and we'll get to that in the second, Cowboys Nation. In the meantime, in between time, before we get to the good, bad, and ugly of last night, as we usually do here, we try my best to start off with something positive from the previous day's game in our Specs Key Club player of the game. I'm pretty sure you guys can guess who that is, because it's not like the Cowboys had a whole lot going for them. And for me, that was none other than Kevontae Turpin, who had the lone touchdown of the night. Here's the play, and here is Joe Buck on the call.
Here we go.
Here's a first down and more. Flag on the play. Turpin is gone. Will it stand?
It stood, and Turpin took the hell off. He hit 22, I think, 0.63 miles per hour. I believe that was the fastest a player has run per next gen stat since 2020. He was gone, man. He was shot out of a cannon. And go figure, you get Kevontae Turpin the ball across the as he's moving, right? And not on the boundary trying to be a 6'5 receiver, not on a hook route, but moving. But boy, he put a move on Okuda and had that boy in a blender, man. Play of the game easily, which means he's the player of the game because it wasn't a whole lot that went great for the Cowboys. He finished the day with 86 yards and a touchdown on 3 targets, ladies and gentlemen. And prior to that, I mean, after that catch, it really wasn't a whole lot there for him. He caught like a quick screen and got like 8 for a first, and then he caught a pass on the final drive of the game when it was over. But that play alone to me is why he is the Specs Key Club player of the game. Specs is your one-stop shop for unbeatable selections of beer, wine, liquor, and finer foods. But here's the thing about their Key Club. You can gain points for purchases and get access to amazing offers like their member discount, specials in stores, birthday gifts, VIP events, access to limited products, and so much more. So if you need some wine, some good spirits, finer foods, hit up any of the Specs in your location and sign up for this Key Club member. Let them know that A to Z sent you. Again, not a whole lot that went well in this game, but there was some. And before y'all throw tomatoes at me when y'all see the first one, no, we don't want that. But before y'all see the second one, I should say, hear me out. But first, let's talk about the tight ends. Jake Ferguson goes down, and I didn't even know he went down for the concussion. It was a play where I saw it was like a third down or something like that. And I saw Luke in there, and I'm like, why do they keep subbing him in and out? I know they're trying to justify the second round pick, but Jake's tight end one, he's your guy. Come to find out, well, Jake suffered a concussion. Needless to say, as the game goes on, the tight end started to really put it together. They were targeted 15 times, 10 receptions for like 96 or 98 yards, and really, really like what I saw from Brevin Spanford. There was a statistic going around from Next Gen Stat. I think Professor O actually might have dropped it, where it was the separation, right? Brevin Spanford had 5.6 yards of separation on his receptions. And he finished, I want to say, with 40-something yards on 4 targets, 4 receptions, or 3 receptions. Was it 4 receptions? It was 4. 4 receptions, 42 yards on 5 targets with a long of 17. He looked really good. And we talked about this the other day when I said, hey, Luke Schoonmaker versus Brevin Spanford. Well, they both got a chance to play in this game because old boy went down. Luke Schoonmaker, also a good game, right? 6 receptions, 56 yards. Was there any eye-popping things from either one? Probably not. But they did make do with their opportunities in this game. They were clearly the favorite target of Cooper Rush here. I believe I said this during the show. Those 2 guys had a combined 15 targets. All the wide receivers outside of CeeDee Lamb had a combined 15 targets. So I believe it was 5 other wide receivers that totaled 15 targets, which I get it. He's a backup tight end or backup quarterback. He's going to go to the tight ends. But I do think this was a good thing when you go back and look from this game. Hold your tomatoes. The first half pass blocking was good. I went back and watched because I'm like, I know I'm not crazy, man. When we're watching the game for real time, I'm not really watching the offensive line, but I'm like, I didn't hear Hunter's name. I didn't hear Autry. I didn't really hear anybody's name. I was like, I'm guessing they did good. They did more than good. They shut them out. Danielle Hunter was on lockdown, like a vault baby lockdown. I don't think anyone, I was about to say Guyton and Terrence, I don't think anybody really lost a rep like that for real. But I'm looking at the tackles. When I went back and watched the film, I said, well, I just want to focus on these guys right now. Guyton had a little iffy rep. Terrence, the very last play of the half, they did a loop thing, and he missed on Hunter, but he got picked up, so there was no pressure. They were shut out. So it added up. They were fantastic. Then you go watch the halftime show, and I'm sitting here giving them props, right? I'm like, man, you know, the offensive line is playing well. Shut them out. I haven't heard anybody's name. Then I went over and looked at that box score, and I said, that's 27 attempts in the first half for Cooper Rush. Kudos for holding up. But I don't think you want to do that again in the second half, because at some point, these levees are going to break. This offensive line is not a 4-quarter shut you out offensive line, especially when there's a demon on the other side named Daniil Hunter. So they come out, and what do? They throw it 28 more times. And eventually, those levees did break. It's like they won at halftime, and the Monstars stole all of their juice. Because they came out, and when you look at the bad, I can't help but think about the second half pass blocking. 0 sacks in that first half. Not many pressures either. 5 sacks in the second half. Across the board. With the highlight sack, Daniil Hunter. Didn't we just talk about Daniil Hunter last week putting the on Panay Sewell? He put the same Euro spinner-rooney step on, oh, Lord. On Terrence, and had Terrence reaching for the sky, man. I had Terrence reaching for the sky. It was bad the second half. And you know, this ain't even this is just a crazy rep. It was bad, period, for Terrence. Bless his heart for Zach, for Tyler, and Tyler Smith, because he went down. I don't know what happened. I keep pressing that, but I don't know what happened in that second half. I don't know if the Texans were playing with their food. I don't know if they got in there and Daniil was like, I am done. Let's really do this thing. Or Autry was like, you know what? I got these guys. Or Tim Settle was like, hey, that ain't a future. That ain't the Hall of Fame Zach Martin right there. So the two highlight pass rushes of the day in that second half was the demon from Daniil Hunter, and then Tim Settle just possibly sending Zach Martin into retirement. You hate to see that. You hate to see that. But I don't know what happened, man. The first half pass blocking, as you guys can see here, I have it as good, was not just good, really. It was outstanding. Go back and watch the tape, man. Terrence didn't lose a rep. Guyton, I still don't think he lost a rep. I won't even say it was a rep where it was questionable, got around the edge, but it was a blitz. It was a cornerback blitz, and Guyton went up against Daniil too. And Daniil kind of captured the edge, but he made him run the hump. So I'm not giving him a win on that one. They didn't lose a rep, only for the second half to get embarrassed. But not without help. Mike McCarthy did not help his offensive line. The lack of balance to me was bad. You went into the fourth quarter with 40 passing attempts, and I want to say like 13 rushing attempts. Well, Sky, it wasn't working. Figure something else out. Yeah, it's not going to work when you run shotgun up the A-gap 10 out of 13 times. It's not. Do something else, coach. But you can't go into a game with the backup quarterback and you're trending towards 55, 54 pass attempts with an offensive line that cannot hold up. Let's be real. They can't hold up. I don't care how well they played in the first half. You can't go and replicate that in the second half. So you didn't help out your O-line. And the Texans said, thank you, sir. We appreciate you for giving us 28 more chances at it. Well, Sky, the game got out of hand. No, it wasn't. It didn't get out of hand to the turning point. And that's the ugly. The comedy of said errors. Pick one, right? There was a bunch of them. I think it started, though, early in the game, 4th and 2. Bones gets on his microphone. Do I have my... I don't think I got it. Bones gets on his microphone. Hey, coach, I think this is a good time to try to catch him. Again. Coach gives him the A-OK, I guess. And I don't know what more you needed to see after the Atlanta game to know that Brian Anger cannot throw the ball. They fake it. Anger threw a 6-yard punt is what Anger did. Anger took a step up, lollipop that thing. And obviously they don't convert. Fortunately, the Texans did not score, but you kind of knew, oh boy, here we go. And right after the game, Mike McCarthy comes out and says, "Oh man, it's a bad play. They thought we could catch him. They played chess and they bad call. Well, Mike, you keep giving this damn Bones fossil the A-OK. Stop it. If the fake isn't to go to the up back, whoever that is, I don't even know who it is right now. Leave the Brian Anger throws alone. If you're gonna go for it on 4th and 1 and 4th and 2, then let your quarterback put Trey Lance in the game." Oh, speaking of Trey Lance, another comedy of errors. Brandon Aubrey boots a 64-yarder. Now listen, 15-yard penalty. Derek Barnett just smacked this. What's my man's name from back in the day? The Rams, Deacon Jones. He hit a Deacon Jones whop right on Cuzzo. You know what? That might be the reason why Cuzzo was getting whooped in the second half. He got Deacon Jones upside the head and he's dizzy. But he got Deacon Jones, 15-yard penalty. Part of me was like, just take the points. I'm not going to lie to y'all. Part of me was like, just take the points. But I get it. All right, cool, bet. Get the 15 yards, get closer, try to get the tutty. Couple plays later, Cooper Rush, Butterfingers just drops the ball. This is twice now. 2 games in a row, just drops a routine snap. Shotgun snap. I don't understand it, but whatever. The very next play, he tries his best to get the ball back to them again and throws it right in number 21. 21 could have sixed that thing. Dropped it. All right, here we go. 4th and 2. They ran sprint right with Cooper Rush on 4th and 2. Didn't convert. I think that's the turning point in that second half. But the reason why I bring up Lance is because, listen, when you get down to the red zone, you've shown you can't get busy down there, especially now, right? Couldn't do nothing last week. Your only touchdown came 67 yards away from the end zone. Why not just throw Lance in there and try to get it with his legs? And if it's not there, he would have took off and got that too. Trust and believe me. And then obviously the comedy of errors of all comedy of errors was the Tyler Guyton thing. Tyler trying to scoop and score from 70 yards out. There was no doubt in my mind when you saw Tyler Guyton pick that ball up, this wasn't a situation where it was like, I got it, let me get down and protect it and get to the next play. My man's tried to stiff arm somebody. And this is back-to-back games now. Both tackles, by the way, trying to scoop the ball up, and the opposing team gets the rock. This time it was worse because the opposing team not only got the rock, Petrie said, give me that. You don't know how to hold the ball. Scoop and score for a thick 6 is what they call it. No diddy. All you can do is laugh, man. That's why it's a comedy of errors. You had a shot in this game. I didn't think it was going to win the game. But for what, 3 weeks in a row now, you're close at halftime, maybe 4. You're close at halftime, only for it to not just lose it, but get completely away from you and you get blown out. It's the way the cookie crumbles, man. Got you trying to get the second. Gotcha. I don't know, man. What a weird second half. What a weird second half. Finally, circle back here to Trey Lance. Now, I don't expect everyone to listen to Jerry. Hell, I don't listen to Jerry Jones after the games. But I saw a tweet going around where Jerry talked about Cooper Rush. And I said, well, let me go listen, because sometimes they'll tweet something like they tweeted something about McCarthy. So I went and listened to McCarthy's, and I'm like, he didn't say that, right? Remember Big Daddy from Django? No, that's not what I said. McCarthy didn't say that, right? So I said, all right, let me go listen to Jerry, because maybe Jerry didn't say that. No. Jerry basically admitted he was wrong without saying he was wrong. They asked Jerry Jones about Trey Lance and Cooper Rush, and, well, how do you feel about Rush? Oh, I thought he played better. Okay, yeah, but you're looking to make a change at quarterback, to see what you got for Trey Lance? And Jerry said, no, we believe Cooper Rush gives us the best chance to win. Really? In the same breath, he says, well, we have to be real about our team, the reality, and face the reality of what is about this team. Jerry, now you're talking all over the place. Because if you face the reality of what this team is, then Cooper Rush giving you the best chance to win does not matter. You're 3-7, Jerry. This man tried to throw 17 picks in this game, Jerry. But here's where he admits he's wrong. You went behind Mike McCarthy's back to make this trade, by the way. You did this. And now you have the perfect opportunity to play Trey Lance in a lost season just to see what you got. And you said no? You're saying no? Because Cooper Rush, who's not good at all, gives you the best chance to win? What does that say about Trey Lance? I wish somebody would have pressed Jerry Jones after that. Jerry, so you mean to tell me that trading that 4th round pick for Trey Lance was not a good move? Well, no, that's not what I said. That's what you're saying, Jerry. You're 3-7. You can't score when you cross the 30-yard line. Except for Brandon Aubrey, and he didn't even score. He slipped and fell over that stadium. The perfect opportunity for the guy that you want behind your coach's back to go prove that you aren't wrong and you're right. And you saying no, because he's not ready? Jerry, he's not coming back. Right? You're a free agent. When is the right time? All you water carriers of this man in this front office, you are finally, because they're not winning, you're finally seeing just how much some of these guys have covered up the monstrosity that is your front office. It ain't been your coaches. It's been the players. This guy doesn't have a clue, man. All right. Enough of my blabbering. Let's talk to y'all. Mississippi Cowboy, what's up, bro?
What's going on, man? I was just this game yesterday. I had already spoke on my opinion on how I thought the game was going to play out. At the start of the first quarter and second quarter, we might make it a little interesting. Defense might, make a couple plays here and there. But I've always felt like, we just don't have enough to, to sustain a close game. We just don't. And I think one of the things that makes me upset the most is that we're making Cooper Rush drop back 60 times.
A backup quarterback dropping back 60 times. And the game wasn't out of reach until the sack fumble. But the only way you get to the sack fumble is by doing what, Mississippi Cowboy?
Dropping back
Yeah.
60 times.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's and I mean the art. I thought Guyton played a really clean game. Like he didn't really make any mistakes other than the fumble he had. I think Guyton has shown he's gonna get better and better. So that's like a positive to look at some point.
Yeah, I mean,
but
the first half, the offensive line was fantastic. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But I don't know what happened in the second half that it just collapsed. They all crumbled, Guyton included, and I'm starting to think here if they're going to look at possibly flipping him next year. Not flipping him in the trade, but literally flipping him on the other side. I'm with you. There's something there. Like you see the difference, even when Austin and Guyton's in there, you see the difference in their athleticism. But again, he's super duper raw. And I don't even know if next year is going to be, enough to get him to where he needs to be comfortable down and down out at left tackle. But he said that's where he's most comfortable. I don't know, brother. I don't know.
Well, I have a question. So about the O-line stuff situation that goes on next year, because I think the Cowboys will draft a lineman, but I'm hoping it's like the fourth or fifth round, maybe third round, something like that. And if let's say they get an interior lineman, do you think that they let that rookie interior guy, if he does well in training camp, he starts, and then so do you think they kick out Tyler Smith to left tackle if they let Bass play?
That's a whole lot. That's a whole lot. That's a whole lot. Break it down one more time.
So if Dallas decides that they want to draft an interior lineman in like the third, fourth, or fifth round, and let's say it's like Tate Ratledge or somebody from like Georgia or whatever. Let's say like Tate Ratledge has a good training camp, blah blah, and he becomes a starter, for either the left guard or right guard position.
Left guard.
And then
who played left guard? Tyler Smith.
You said
right
what?
Guard. Right guard. Left guard is Tyler
Yeah,
Smith.
right. Yeah, right guard. Yeah. So what if Bass, I guess, has a good training camp as well, and let's say you want to have them at guard, and then you just kick Tyler Smith out to left tackle?
Stop. We got to stop this. We have to stop. And it's not just you. It's not even your fault. It's the Cowboys' fault. Did you see what happened to T.J. Bass when he got in that game?
Yeah, he got destroyed.
Yeah, he got
and I'm worried
baptized
about
too.
how we going to address the O-line.
T.J. Bass was okay last year as an undrafted rookie. He's an okay backup. He's a backup for a reason. I'm sorry. Is there starter games in him? Sure. Is he my 17? No. Is he enough for me to kick out Tyler Smith for a full season and rock out? No. Go get you if you're going to move Tyler Guyton to right tackle, then get me a real left. If I gotta spend money, spend money. If I gotta go get Cam Robinson, get Cam Robinson. If I gotta draft one, which I don't think there's many good ones. Apparently, I haven't watched. This ain't a good tackle draft. Then damn it, do something legit. Stop flip flopping, snip snapping, and putting in these mediocre dudes as starters and trying to sell it to the fan base. No.
And that's my problem with it still, is that if we cut Terrence Steele, will the front office go and get them offensive tackle in free agency? Like, that's my thing. Will they do that?
I don't know.
Because if not, I don't want to be drafting no lineman in no first round again. I don't want that.
No, look, what they would do and what I believe they should do is probably two different things, right? They're probably going to do what you said, right? Well, we're not going to draft a guard. We're going to just TJ Bass. He's our starter. I want to see Nate Thomas, but they're going to say TJ Bass, he's our guy. They're likely not going to draft an interior dude. If they move on from Terrence, I would probably flip Guyton over there. But if not, they'll probably then draft a tackle, or they'll say, well, we'll see what Austin Richards got at right tackle, or they'll move him over and say Austin is our left. I don't think that's the solution. I'm tired of them acting like they are God when it comes to these type of decisions. Your picks, your decisions up front are not working. You're wrong. So switch it up. Go get a proven guy in free agency, spend some damn money, If you got to trade for somebody, do it. That's what other real teams do. The Vikings lost their left tackle. You know what they did? They didn't say Awesome Richards go play the rest of the year. They went and got Cam Robinson. The Chiefs said, oh my goodness, we cannot have a repeat of what happened in the Super Bowl. They paid 17 offensive linemen and traded for Orlando Brown.
Yep.
But the Cowboys are going to sell to you Awesome Richards and TJ Bass, and people are going to eat it up. They're going to eat it up.
Yep.
Awesome Richards is the future. TJ Bass is the man. Brock Hoffman. I'm sorry, because it's frustrating. If you truly are focusing on how these guys play and look around the league, that ain't the answer, bruh. The blueprint is out there. Competing and competitive teams are not relying on third and fourth string guys to save their lives. They're going out and getting dudes.
Yeah.
I digress.
You basically just answered everything, man, that I just need to hear. I was kind of playing devil's advocate here to see how
you playing Cowboys advocate. That's exactly you right. You spot on. That's what they're gonna try to do, bro. Like Mississippi, report back here in July. You gonna be dead on. Watch.
This is the last thing I'm gonna say. I want when you go into the draft, I want a skilled guy. Give me a receiver or I wouldn't mind taking Genty or whatever you want to do with that, because I want a skilled guy that can come here and be a big playmaker for this team. That's what I really want. So I don't want Cowboy fans giving me with that draft an old lineman first round. Like we at some point you need to go ahead and go in free agency and try to get one of those guys. But I want a skilled, and that's what I think. That's about all I got still. Let's go Cowboys.
Appreciate the call, Mississippi Cowboy. Appreciate you dealing with my rant too. It's just so frustrating, man, because we're not there yet, but Mississippi Cowboys not lying. That's how this thing is likely to play out. I say this to you guys all the time. I try to talk about what is. And this is how the Cowboys operate. Now, if they go left and they do something different, then hell, I will come on here and we'll talk about it and give them props if they operate like these other organizations are operating. I don't have belief they are. Now, I know we're talking about moving on from, in all seriousness, that probably should be a thought process, but I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think they're going to do it. Dylan, would they? Dylan said, would they start Brock at center and kick BB to guard? Would they? Probably not that option. I would like to, because that falls right in the same trap that we just talked about. If we're going to move BB to guard, which honestly I'm ready to kind of see it. I think BB has been a solid center. If they decide to go with BB at center, I'm not going to be and moan about it, but I think the dirt BB is a guard. That people mover put you in he's a guard. And I don't know if he's really going to be able to do that at center. So if they're going to move BB to center, get you a real center. I think I took it out. But Brock Hoffman is not that. So, no, I think maybe if you get an actual center, then maybe that's a thought process, but not Brock, man. Only way that might be a possibility is if Mike Solari returns, because Mike Solari loves Brock Hoffman. I can't possibly see a new offensive mind with a new offensive line coach coming in here and saying, yeah, Brock Hoffman's my guy. Shouts out to one of the OGs of this thing, B Bird. Good morning, my man.
Hey, what's going on, Scott? How you doing, man?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
I'm doing good. I guess a few weeks ago I talked to you and I said, man, it's good to play on a Thursday night so you can have a stress-free Sunday just watching football. Well, another stress-free way to watch football is when your team is 3-7. So
That's facts. That's a fact, Jack.
I wasn't stressed out at all about last night. One of the things, too, man, is that I thought about this before, and I may have said it. Us as Cowboys fans, we really suffer from Stockholm Syndrome. Hopefully everybody knows what that is. But what it is that we know that Jerry's not going anywhere. We can't change anything on the top side. So now we try to figure out how we can operate within those parameters. But I'm not no Superman, but I never operate in those parameters. I say what they should do like it's a normal football team and just say, hey, no, man, we need to go get this running back. We need to go get that. We need to go get this. Now, will it not happen? No, but we still got to keep the standard to whereas and as content creators or people on Twitter, we got to keep the standard up to know we need you to perform like a regular football team, and hopefully that puts pressure on them. It may not, but it makes me feel good.
Yeah.
But,
Marcus Spears said something that we've been saying for a while. Let me see if I can find this real quick. Give me 1 second. And honestly, I might be able to, without even looking at it, just spit it right out because I've been saying this for years. Where's it at here? Somebody retweeted it. Essentially, Marcus Spears was saying the Cowboys do not operate in the same manner as championship organizations or teams that are trying to compete for championships, right? And B Bird, we've been saying that since you was one of the first people to come in my live stream, bro. We've been saying that since that day, right? And now the mainstream media seems to be picking up on it because the mainstream isn't as dialed in as we are. But now they're starting to notice, and now they're starting to call them out in that way. I don't think it's going to change though, like you said. But finally, I feel like because of how washed this season is and the lack of what they did in the offseason, even people that hate certain players on this team can't say, well, you know what? It don't matter. They should get it done. They're like, damn, man, this front office is trash. But this is how they've always been. They were just being covered up by a top-heavy roster.
Absolutely. And then a top-heavy team, when it gets to the playoffs, you need players on different levels that show up. You know what I'm saying? Not your top guys, but they need support. And since the team's not built correctly, that's why we kind of crumble in the playoffs. I asked a coworker yesterday. I said, hey man, I know Andy Reid is an offensive guru. But what did Mike Tomlin come from, and what does the Harbaugh? What did they do? And this guy knows football. He said, "Man, I don't really know what they're an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator." And I told him, "You know what they are? They're leaders of men."
The leaders of men.
If you go look at the Chargers roster, that hadn't changed much. Tomlin's Pittsburgh roster is not great, but when you have the thing, also I said is that two things that they have: they're leaders of men. And I could not pick their front office people out of a lineup. And really, I could not. They're quiet. They go about their business. And they let those guys be the focal point and the leaders of the team. That's why I tell people that the structure of this organization is all off. With Jerry Jones being the being the front guy and the go-to and the leader of men on the team. And so until that thing changes, that's why my two candidates for the next coaching job are Belichick and Dion. Actually, Dion first and Belichick. And a lot of people may get up in arms about that. But Dion's because his personality is so big and he's so arrogant that Dion, he wants to win, man. It ain't just about the money. He like, man, you don't have me looking bad in these streets. You know what I'm saying? So he's going to be pushing back against him. But we've always said that we need pushback. Right?
That only works if they let them do them. It only works that way. Because I've ran this same thing in my head, man. The Belichick, the culture, right? The Dion, the culture. The only way they can instill their own culture is by the front office, a.k.a. Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones, backing the hell off. So I don't see that happening. I don't see it. I think when we talk about this a lot, Jimmy Johnson and Bill Parcells are the two guys that were able to butt heads with the front office because they had that, that respect and they had that personality too, right? I don't think Bill is like Bill. If you try to put Bill Belichick, quite literally, was hired by the Jets. The Jets said you can't do X, Y, Z. The next day, he wrote on a piece of paper and said, "I quit. I resign here. I'm done," and went to the Patriots. I can't see Bill just being like, you know what, Jerry? Yeah, you can go do X, Y, Z and talk in the media and undermine me and do all this other stuff. And I can't see it, brother. I can't. And Dion, shit, ain't no way, bro.
And that's why. And that's why I would like them here. And I think the only thing that can do that is, arrogant people and narcissists don't like being embarrassed. And this season, as more as it keeps going, the embarrassment and his name is out there, and people are starting to call him out. They're not saying Dak sucks and CD sucks and all this. No, they're going straight to Jerry on this thing, and that's good, man. So that's good for us. This thing can't end 6-11 or something like that because he'll find something good to pull out of it. So I'm just saying, like, if it continues this way, hopefully something changes. And I want to just talk to you about one thing, on the football field thing.
Sure.
The run game, I think that's the key to everything, man. We cannot run the ball. I mean, we gave up 5 sacks, and I listened to your stats. 27 in the first pass attempt in the first half theoretically should be what we do for the game. And so our run game sucks, and I think you got to start off by fixing the run scheme. So whoever coach comes in here, this run scheme cannot be the same. And the second thing that we have to do is I think we got to get some more explosive players at wide receiver, skill players, man. We got to get some guys that we saw, like we saw last night. If a guy missed a tackle, a guy can take it all the way. I think we got some guys that are good, but they're just not explosive at running back and at wide receiver. We got to upgrade our skill position,
they're not explosive
man.
across the whole offense. The one explosive guy you got, CeeDee Lamb is that he can do that too. But outside of CeeDee Lamb, like an auxiliary player, is Turpin, and they weren't using him in that manner until last night, where they got him with the ball on the move. So, and you talk about that. That's a part of scheme. That's a part of coaching. That's a part of getting a guy. All that ties together. You want a new run scheme. You want to get explosive players and use them, dudes. You're going to need a new coordinator. You're going to need a new offensive mind, and that's why Ben Johnson for president. But go ahead.
Yeah, and I would definitely like him here too. Scott, I appreciate you giving me on, man. Oh, one more thing I was going to say. This year here should just be for the rest of the year, if they're smart as an organization, just to be evaluating the guys you got on the roster that's going to come back next year.
Yeah.
You can mask that some kind of ways, but this should be a long preseason until the off season. And the last thing, Scott, is how are we 3-7 and we still like picking the top 10? Why we pick the worst year to be bad? Because they got a lot of teams that's bad now, and I don't know how we number 10, but it seems like 3-7 should have us in a better position than what we are. But guys, we pick a bad year to be bad, to be totally honest with you, man. I'm gonna let you go, brother.
So appreciate you, B Bird. Let's see. Let's go to Tankathon. Let's see, because I think we're like one game out. Here we go. Yeah, we're 1.5 games out of the number one pick. So we're 3-7, but there's a 2-9 team and a 2-8 team. Shouts out to the Panthers. They picked up an extra dub, I think, along the way. Thank you, Nolans. They picked up an extra dub along the way. That's going to happen again. Like I feel like some of these teams, hell, the Giants might be the Cowboys, are going to pick up a dub along the way. Tennessee and Jacksonville might not, though. Them boys might be done. So I have faith that this team will probably play its way into the top 5, but Jets are definitely going to probably win a couple games just cause. Man, some bad teams. You're right though. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 9 teams, 10, 11 teams, 4-7 or worse. And 5 teams, 2-8 or worse. It's a miracle the Cowboys are even 3-7 at this point. Thanksgiving is crazy. Hey, who's that? Corey? I might steal that. Corey, you got to report back here on Thanksgiving because I'm probably going to steal that from you, sir. That's a hell of a name. Thanksgiving. Yeah, I think the Cowboys will play themselves, and they lost 5 in a row. They're on the second longest losing streak in the league behind Las Vegas, tied with the Giants. They'll be up there, brother. Don't worry about it. They'll be up there. Drummer Cam, what's up, man?
Hey, Sky, man. Tank season. Here we go. How you doing this morning, man?
Man, brought the show in with some energy, and we here, man. That's all I can say. We here.
For sure. I was listening to Brian Bronis last night on the 105.3 postgame show, and a fan was asking about, they were talking about draft picks and how we've had some misses, and especially in that particular year with Schoonmaker and Mozzie and such. But, he was saying that, essentially your success over the last 3 years has resulted in your drafting strategy, kind of always being a gamble because of where you're picking and how that affects you. And I thought that was interesting because it really kind of speaks to a broader, scenario of your leadership, where your success can be your own downfall. If you have multiple years of success and you're always picking in the bottom 10 of on the draft board, it has an effect overall. And then because the Cowboys are stuck to this, married to this draft and develop methodology,
that's an excuse to me. Jump Cam, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, for sure.
I think that's
you're good.
That's a piss poor excuse. Maybe I shouldn't use the word excuse. I don't know. I didn't listen to what Brian is saying. Maybe Brian is just talking and saying, well, I wonder if this is how they're thinking. How do the Bills do it? How do the Chiefs do it?
No.
How do the Ravens do it?
Well, no.
How do the Eagles do it? You know what I'm saying? Like you don't, if you're picking 27-28, you don't got to stay at 27-28. You don't have to take Mozzie Smith. You know what I'm saying? You don't got to take Tyler Guyton. In the second round, you don't got to take Kelvin Joseph. You don't got to take Randy Gregory. You don't got to take Jalen Smith. You know what I mean? I'm not hearing none of that, because if anything, if you're so good at winning these games and picking in the bottom 20s, that should give you more reason to be aggressive, not less of a reason to be or more reason to be conservative.
I think it kind of comes down to, and this is kind of where my head's at with this, and kind of bring it in, is you're stuck on this draft and develop. So you over prioritize on draft capital because you're not willing to go make actual difference makers and free agency. And my only hope, and this is kind of wrapping up with, my only hope is this embarrassment of a season, and I don't have much hope in this. I'm not putting any stock in it, but my only hope is this embarrasses Jerry to the point he's like, okay, we probably should do something different next year. And whoever the new coach is, I'm fully preparing myself for a terrible head coach like a Belichick or a Vrabel, which I don't understand. But if that is the case, my only hope is you at least give that head coach more leeway, whether for better or for worse. Give him more leeway and more say in this front office to make better decisions. Because draft and develop only works if you hit on every draft every fucking year and you have absolutely no misses. If you have no misses, that can work. But if you have misses, you are going to have a down year. I think that's what this year is proving, man. That's all I got. I appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you, Jump.
Take it easy.
Yep. Your hope is don't hold on to it. Don't hold on to it. You might get a signing. But what you're really hoping for is radical change. Dallas doesn't operate that way. Dallas is not a radical organization. They're not an aggressive organization. Their level of aggressiveness is, hey, man, we traded a 5th round pick for Stephon Gilmore on a 1-year deal. Here, man, damn. And they're going to sell it to us, right? But see, I saw right through that bullshit. All right? Hey, Brandon Cooks, hey. I saw right through the bullshit. If you listen to this show, you knew how I felt. Hey, kudos for realizing your mistakes, but you should have did this when you were actually competing, right? To try to win a Super Bowl in the season. But because they're such a reactionary organization and not a proactive organization, that hey, look, we got the corner and wide receiver like y'all saw. Yeah, now you caught up. You're not ahead. You just got to where you needed to be last year. And there's people that'll hold on to that. I bet you Steven will, because he holds on to, man, remember we traded for Amari Cooper in 2018. Remember when we Brandon Carr, so we shouldn't. You're hoping for radical change. They're not going to do that. They're going to give you breadcrumbs. Because they almost have no choice. The Cowboys need so many. It's impossible to get it all from free agency. I'm sorry, from the draft. It's impossible. They have to sign some guys in free agency. They cannot go into this free agency signing one guy again. Impossible. Impossible. You can't do it. Here, man, shut up. That's what they're going to give you. I don't care for the here, man, shut up. I don't care for it. I'm here for radical change. I'm here for a revolution, bro. That's what I'm here for. A motherfucking revolution.
For the revolution. What you say now? Do you want a revolution?
Yes. Yes, I want one. All right, man, let's talk to Deshaun. What's good, Deshaun?
Okay. Let me go calm. So I just looked on Twitter recently, and what CeeDee Lamb said is everybody here is trying to embarrass us. Because the last 3 years we went 12-5, 12-5, 12-5, which is correct. Scott,
CeeDee Lamb said what now?
CeeDee said that everybody here, like everybody that's coming here, is trying to embarrass us. Like since we had success the last 3 years, they have right and opportunity to embarrass us, and they're doing it. So my thing and my issue is
I gotta go find this quote. Go ahead, keep going.
Go ahead. I can hold on. This answer I can send it to you. Hold on.
Go ahead.
All right. So, because I can read it word for word. Obviously, everybody is looking to embarrass us, right? They have the opportunity. When they do, they try to put us out. I feel like we had so much success over the last 3 years as far as the regular season, and it's starting to bite us right now.
Oh my God. CD don't.
So my thing and my frustration is this, is that, like you said, when we have the opportunity and we have the things, the weapons and stuff like that to go win, he doesn't want to take the extra step. And now he waits the next year, and Sky, teams get better. Teams get better. They figure out what their weakness is, they figure out what their strength is, and they get better. Day in, day out, day in, day out. So you have a management who is standing there looking. You're looking at your team getting blown out 20+ every single home game, and you just standing there just scratching your fingers and stuff like that. Scott, I promise you, I swear to you this. If any one of our content creators was to run the Cowboys, I swear to you, we would have been won the Super Bowl years ago. Why? Because any common sense person sit up and knows what's right in front of them and what's happening. But see, here's the problem is they don't know, they don't understand football, and they try to make it seem like they understand football. They try to make it seem like we're stupid.
You know, hey,
And
hold
we're
on,
not
stay
stupid.
right
Stop.
there. Stay right there. Because listen, and I see, and I'm sorry, sometimes I let these people get to me. I see these people on these interwebs and some in here, and they say things like, you can't tell an owner how to run a team. You've never ran a football team. You've never been a general manager. Bruh, what you just said is really what it is. They don't know football. They may have been around it. They may know what I got. Okay, you signed the check here. All right, that's called a tackle. That's a pass. But Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones are not crunching. They're not crunching film. They're not following trends. They don't really know anything outside their own organization. If you keep it a bean, they don't really know shit about the game for real. Because if they did, they would follow these said trends. Well, Scott, they win 12 games. It ain't because of them. Stop it. And I'm tired of y'all saying, well, you can't tell an owner how to run an organization. Yes, I can. Go ahead.
You put the work in, Scott. Day in, day out. You, Jay Tuck, Boss, Vox, DMV, like y'all put the work in and et cetera to sit up here and do this. Scott, we've been telling the Cowboys for weeks, attack the middle of the field. You know what happened when they attacked the middle of the field, Scott? 64 yards gone. That that does not, like I said, the problem is that you have why is Jerry Jones telling the what you call it, the Cooper Rush are going to start? Why not leave it up to surprise? Why not sit up and say, well, maybe we can have okay.
That goes right back to what you're saying, man. Because what general manager is doing, and that's part of football, right? Because you're now undermining your head coach. You're now. Bro, it's not even Monday yet. They ain't even watched the film. They haven't even gotten in there, had a coaches meeting and said, with the quarterback's coach, Scott Tolzien, with the offensive coordinator, and said, what are you guys thinking about what trade this week? They can't even have that conversation because an 82-year-old senile old-ass man already went out after the game and said he's our guy.
Yes. And, Scott, you know another issue is the safeties. Tell me why. When Wanye got in there, they sent the blitz. CJ Stroud tried to throw it to Dawson Show. What happened? He sit in there, he got in front and deflect the pass. But you know what happened when Hooker and all these other people want to do? They just want to sit there and wait. That pass from Joe Mixon, if he caught that pass after the other touchdown, he was gone. Because he's standing there looking at him. I literally see Hooker looking at him, and if Joe Mixon didn't drop that ball, he would have scored a touchdown right there and there. But
I don't know what you're talking about, but all I know is we've been trying to get Bell and Wanye up in there, man. Like,
you'll see on the film. You'll see on the film tomorrow. I ain't
about to watch that guy now. Anyway, go ahead, man.
All right. But my last thing is this. Is at the end of the day, if we're expecting a team to sit up who does the same thing over and day in, day out, to change, it's going to take a lot more than that. Because when they asked the question about him in this empty seats, this man went to statistics of we are the top 5 most winning teams in the past, 15, 20 years. No, we didn't have playoff success or Super Bowl success, but we're still one of the most winning teams in the NFL and blah, blah, blah. So if he's thinking that way, then it's going to be a minute.
Yep. Got to overcome it. That's all. Got to overcome these dudes. I appreciate you, Deshaun.
Appreciate you.
Man, I'm still watching this Euro. Euro step crazy. Did the same thing to Panay Sue. Hunter's a problem, man. All right, man. 2 more. We can get up out of here. 210.
Yo, what's
You
good
are
with you,
live.
guy?
What's up?
Man, I ain't gonna lie. Dak need more credit. How he won with this crappy roster, dog. 3 wins. That's impressive. But Bones definitely was sabotaging, which I'm all here for on that fake punt. I'm all here for it.
You think Bo's trying to get that interim head coach?
Yeah, I busted out laughing when I saw that. I'm not even gonna lie.
Bro, let me go look at this play.
I had to turn the game off because Mike McCarthy. It's like I see him take notes every third down or whatever, and I'm trying to figure out what is he taking notes of, because obviously nothing's changing. But like the other caller said, the only real hope is that teams keep whooping our asses until the off season, and then Jerry ain't got no choice because we ain't got a whole lot of draft picks, like you said. We can only hit on so many draft picks. We hit on the first round about 80% of the time. Second round, we don't hit at all. Trayvon was lucky that we got him, but
brother,
third and fourth, we don't hit.
I haven't went down the entire list. I was talking about this behind the scenes with Jesse, then we brought it up on air. Since 21, Cowboys have 30 plus draft picks. You could legitimately argue only 5, maybe 6 of those are legitimate hits. And for a team that needs more than just a Golston to be a auxiliary piece or an Osa to just be a okay solid starter, that ain't good enough.
Not at all.
That ain't good enough. You can't have 30 damn picks and I think all of them except one on the team and only 5 or 6 dudes. It could be more. But I'm talking about the Fergusons, the Blands, the Micahs, you know what I'm saying? The Tyler Smiths, that's legitimate dudes, right? The Marvion Overshown. You can't, you need more, bro. You need 17, 18, 19 of those dudes to really hit. You can't miss like that when you refuse to operate elsewhere. So Yeah, bro, it's tough. It's tough because you put your team behind the 8 ball before they even get to camp.
No, exactly. I agree with that because, like you said, the Cowboys, Jerry and Steven, they reactive instead of proactive. Like now, we got to worry about Washington now.
Yeah, let's trade Parsons, we them boys, and pick more Luke Schoonmakers and Mozzie Smiths and Tyler Guytons. Let's do that. Yeah, that's the answer.
Don't make no sense.
That's the end. The answer to the Cowboys' problems is trading Micah Parsons. Y'all, you ain't listening. You the same dude that just read a thumbnail and made a ridiculous comment. Y'all don't listen, man. But yeah, let's trade Parsons. Let's trade Dak. Let's trade CD. Let's trade Diggs. Let's trade Tyler Smith, right? Get 17 first-round picks, and we're going to be good, man. Jerry going to make this thing all right. Y'all not listening. This ain't the Chiefs. This ain't the Ravens. This ain't the Rams. This ain't even the Eagles. You don't have the juice. You don't got the respect around the league to flip a guy like Micah and make that thing work. You ain't them. You ain't. You need a guy like Micah. You need a guy like Dak because you don't know how to flip these type of guys and remain Super Bowl championship competitive. Did you see how different the pass rush looks with Micah out there? You want to move on? I hope they do it just for y'all's sake. I hope he gets traded to the damn Chiefs or something like that. Picks up 3 rings. Denver like Ware did, and you guys look like a bunch of idiots. And I usually don't say this. I'm sorry if it offends you. Having the conversation, cool, but y'all legitimately sit here and think moving on from your best players in an organization that solely relies on its best players is the best opportunity for success. You are a fool and you're not paying attention. Go ahead.
Now you ain't lying because they're the same people that's clamoring to get Travis Hunter. I don't want Travis Hunter because we won't misuse him. So that's all I got, Big Scout. But I hope we keep losing, man. The tank marathon's on, big dog. Appreciate you.
Salute. I'm gonna keep on saying that too. Every time I see this ridiculous shtick of trade this person, trade that person, y'all just saying anything like this dopamine shot. Well, we move on from you gonna feel better until reality sets in. Do it, please. Please. Worried about another man's pockets for. See, this is what's so. Y'all don't pay attention, man. I try to at least present things that you're not going to see on the big wigs. The big wigs are going to say, oh, can't pay Dak, can't pay Micah, can't pay CeeDee Lamb, can't pay, right? What the big wigs aren't going to say is, maybe you shouldn't have paid Michael Gallup. Maybe you shouldn't have paid Tyler Smith. Terrence Steele, I'm sorry. Maybe you shouldn't have paid a franchise tag on Jake or Dalton Schultz. Maybe you shouldn't have franchise tagged a dude who just broke his ankle and snapped it in half in Tony Pollard, right? Damn, maybe I shouldn't have gave that contract to a bionic leg Jalen Smith. Damn, maybe I shouldn't have extended a Zach Martin. Maybe I should have played hardball. All that money is the real issue. Not playing your 3-time All-Pro and your All-Pro quarterback and your All-Pro wide receiver. Give me a break. Give me a break. Y'all lazy. You want to cry about another man's pockets and blame it on Cap? Then talk about the dudes who have not played well at all. And wasn't. Talk about the guys that they sunk 56, 90 million, 20 million dollars into. One's retired. One is reaching for the sky every time he plays a good pass rusher. One's not on your team. I'm sorry, 2 are not on your team. The other one had a bionic leg. You paid a lazy ass right tackle that you knew was lazy too. You refused to move on from a Tyron Smith when you knew he was broke down. Let's trade Michael Parsons. That's the solution to this problem.
Hey, good morning, Sky.
Good morning, Toxic. Send us out, bro.
First off, love hearing this side of you, man. Where's the do-rag?
I had it on all night.
Let the hate flow through you. Just let it flow. Just let it control you. Your hate will make you strong. No, shout out to Brandon Aubrey. Had a Monday night miracle because of that 64-yard field goal. Won my fantasy game.
I thought Terrence Steele was going to bounce back. That just because some people believe in certain players. Yeah, I mean, I thought he was going to bounce back, but that doesn't mean you had to extend him off of an ACL injury. Now, I definitely thought, okay, off of 1 year removed, I thought he played better. He has not played better. I mean, against at least those type of guys, right? But that doesn't mean you can't go back and say, well, bro, maybe you shouldn't have extended him off of an ACL. Why do you always try to get ahead of these things like that with an injury? You extended him off an ACL. You extended Michael Gallup off an ACL. You franchise tagged Tony Pollard off of a broken leg. That is legitimately questionable. Because if you just say, hey, let's let it play out, you probably don't extend him, right? Maybe you restrict him or whatever, you attack, whatever you want to do, but you don't extend him. So, yeah, man, we can talk about what is. Nothing wrong with that. My bad, go ahead.
No, you're fine. That's what happens when you have an ambulance chaser of a GM that likes to sign guys when they're at their lowest market value. Just because it's cheaper doesn't mean it's better.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that should be the motto for the Cowboys. But anyway, one thing that's always stood out to me about this season was way back at the Combine when Rosie was getting interviewed, and they asked him a question about our culture.
Stephen Jones, yo.
And with that straight face, he said, no, nothing wrong with our culture. Culture's great. You never get asked about your culture if your culture is great. If anyone has never been around outside, I work in corporate America. When culture gets brought up, it's never good, ever. And right then and there, that's when I started to get the 2010 vibes of the Dallas Cowboys, because the sheer ignorance of that family, that inbred, disgusting family, to think that everything is fine is the crux of everything that is wrong. And you also make another great point. When you are in an organization that's really loud and you have large and you have a lot of moving pieces, you need to have controls and segregation of duties. And you bring it up all the time. The decision man isn't the money man, because it just doesn't work.
Can't mix it, man.
You can't. Because a CEO, the leader of a franchise, an owner, your job is to make sure that everybody has what they need to succeed. You're cultivating a culture that matches what you demand from these people, and that you are empowering the people that are underneath you or working with you to get what they need done. And if you are mixing hats all the time and saying, well, I like this, I like that, and you're overstepping your bounds and micromanaging people, or you're just not doing your job at all, which as the CEO, Mr. Jones, and whatever Stephen Jones does, you are not doing the job you are supposed to be doing. That's the problem. And then when you see him, you can't expect a head coach to do his job well when the CEO, who, one, isn't providing the resources that he needs and enabling him to succeed, one, and then two, you're just going to walk all over him, two. No player is going to respect you, one. And two, why would a player or a coach like Ben Johnson or any other great free agent want to come here just to be treated this way? And this is why you can't tank. Because the problem with tanking is it's already destroying a culture that's already garbage. And then you're already now sending a message now to other fans, other players around the league saying, we really don't give a fuck about this.
Yeah.
And that is why when I see free
agents,
the
players toxic, and the play, I'm pretty sure there are there are players in that locker room. Like, I'm positive actually. There's some players that want to see a coaching change. There's some players that want to see a quarterback change. There's some players that want to see a different running back, right? When that whole thing, there's some players who they like do something. The Cowboys refuse to do nothing. Look, they're not. It's not like they're going to go on some winning streak or anything like that. But they need to play better. They need to play better than this, man. And eventually it's going to get to a point where they just stop playing for each other or for said coach and just start playing for themselves. I know a lot of people say 53 brands or whatever, but when you remove the whole cliche thing, like on the field, there is I got to do my job and you see that a lot. And people get mad at certain players for doing their job because they're not popping off the screen with X, Y, Z. But at some point, you're going to get guys saying, man, F this. F, you know what, Tyler Guyton, I've picked up a fumble. I'm trying to score a touchdown. F this.
Yep.
Instead of falling on the ball. Right? Now, that's just one funny example, but it's going to get to a point, man, where I'm not hearing what Mike Zimmer got. I'm not hearing what Mike McCarthy got to say. I don't care what Jerry's saying. We don't even have the leader in the offense. Who in the offensive huddle is leader, bro? Who?
Rowdy. That's about it. We're at that point. I'm at the point where I would even want Make-A-Wish kids coming into the stands, coming down on the team to give them a chance to be a Dallas Cowboy. This season is lost, and to top it all off, instead of using this as what a good organization in any business would go, this shit isn't working. It's either survive, adapt, or we fucking die. And we're not seeing that. And they are comfortable with it. And that is...
Because Jerry Jones is a vampire.
You're right.
He's a vampire. There is no dying.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying let me run this back. I'm not saying to quite literally die, right? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about with this organization. He ain't going nowhere. There is no survive or die, aka get fired, right? He is quite literally the vampire of general managers. It's just, hey, as long as we survive, as long as we get up the next day, I got my job. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going into anywhere. So the whole survive or die thing doesn't apply here because nobody making the decisions has to quote unquote die. And when we say die, I mean get fired, except for the head coach. And guess what? The head coach ain't making no decisions. The head coach can't even make the quarterback decision.
Yep.
The head coach can't make a running back decision.
Nope. It's sad.
But trade Micah.
It's sad that the standard has dropped so low. Excuse me, the acceptable standard has dropped so low from what this once was and they love to talk about to what this really is. And the last thing I'll say, everyone who's going to be watching this weekend, keep an eye on the Commanders because this is a tale of two cities. That is a team that not even 3 years ago, and I live in the DMV area, had arguably the worst owner in all of sports. And once that piece of shit was ejected from the NFL, look at all the moves that the Commanders did, and they didn't just draft Jaden Daniels. Look at all the stuff they don't talk about, hiring the general managers, the change of culture. Look how different that team is. That is what we want to be. Stop defending the billionaire who spends money and brags about his wealth that he gets from all of us with his helicopters and yachts and doesn't give a shit about his football team. That is what you now see. They are the Cowboys. I hope the Cowboys can be once Jerry Jones literally takes his dirt nap. Y'all have a good day.
Oh, toxic, man. Appreciate it, Toxic Tom. Dylan said, Guyton said, oh, y'all want Derrick Henry? I got you, fam. You funny for that one. Professor O with the comment of the day, man. This is Professor O said, did shipping off Jalen Ramsey for a haul help Jacksonville? Did getting multiple picks for Khalil Mack help the Raiders? What about the haul the Jets got for Jamal Adams? The moves don't help if you whiff on picks. You are more in line with Jacksonville, the Raiders, the Jets, than you are the Rams, Philly, Baltimore, Buffalo, San Fran, Kansas City. You're more the other team. When I say burn it down, no Seth Rollins, I ain't talking about your best players, man. That's not what I'm talking about. All right. Oh, yeah. Caught looking says Steven's worth. Steven's worse. Caught looking. When I refer to the front office and Jones's, I'm referring to both of them boys. Because I don't think Steven is just going to all of a sudden. My only hope, once again, is that when Steven takes over the business, he takes over the business. Follow? Not the football operations. And he leaves that to whomever else. That's my hope. My hope is that Charlotte doesn't take over the business and leaves the football operations to Steven. Couple super chats. Mike Harris dropped 5 and said, this season's failure is on Jerry, all in my ass. Facts. Still them boys dropped 5 and said, a couple weeks ago, I sent a super saying it felt like I was watching the 5-11 Cowboys. Now it feels like I'm watching the 0-16 Lions. This is worse than 2020. We went over this the other day. This is really worse than 2015. Man, bro, we won a game with... I was at that game. Monday Night Football, Washington. I think the JFK. Was it still JFK? Or was it FedEx? It might have been FedEx at that time. Showing my age a little bit. We won a game with Matt Castle. I think Dan Bailey send off, I want to say overtime maybe. Fun game. Low key, they were still in the runnings, I think, towards the end. But definitely in the runnings for 2020. I remember the very last game, they had a shot. They needed like a bunch of things to happen. But so this is worse, man. This is worse. John dropped 5 and said, Jerry is comfortable with losing in mediocrity because the value of the franchise continues to rise. Until he starts losing money, he won't change. Yeah, I always hear that part, right? Don't go to the games and don't buy merch and stuff like that. That's fair, right? That will hit the pockets some. But the majority of the money these owners are making, and correct me if I'm wrong, it was RFK at the time? Wow. It doesn't come from buying tacos at the stands. It doesn't even come from the ticket, because if you don't buy them, the other team will buy them. It doesn't come from the jerseys. It comes from the TV deals. They're making billions. How my man said, billions. They're making billions of dollars off of the TV deals. And because the brand has grown so large to the point where not only are millions and millions of people watching the Cowboys as fans of the Cowboys, millions and millions of people are watching the Cowboys to hate watch the Cowboys. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now you start seeing dips and rate, but it's not going to happen because the league is not going to fall off the cliff. They came out, said, Jerry, because I went and listened. I don't even like to listen, but I went and listened. Jerry, what do you got to say about all the red shirts in the stands? Jerry didn't give it. You know what he said? Ah, man, that's normal. He said, that's normal. He said, a lot of our fans sell their tickets. They did this before the season even started. Wow. You know where it's not normal? One of my best friends, Josh, is a diehard Steeler fan. I don't think I know a more of a diehard fan of the Steelers than him. Seriously. Goes to, I don't know how many home games goes to. It ain't normal in Pittsburgh. You think those Yinzers are selling their tickets to the Cleveland Brown fan? Because this is what he said. He said, oh, Houston's close. Houston's close. So, you know, we're going to get a lot of their fans. San Francisco, we're going to get a lot of their fans. This is okay. This is normal. Do you see Buffalo being taken over by the Broncos? Do you see Philly being overrun by the Jaguars? Well, I guess because the Browns are not that far from Pittsburgh, that they should be buying tickets and taking over Pittsburgh. No, it's not happening. It happens in Dallas though, because this is the culture you've built, Jerry. You didn't build a culture where diehard fans can be Bills Mafia and the terrible towels and all that stuff. You built a corporate culture. We call them corporate Cowboys. It's a corporate culture. And those are the not look, no offense to the diehards. It's hard to get in there. It's expensive to get in there. And then when you do get in there, sit down, settle down, everybody be quiet. Watch our cheerleaders in the cage. Go shop at Victoria's Secret. You're hot here. Here's the sun. The Seattle Seahawks built their stadium purposefully to keep the noise in. The Cowboys built their stadium purposefully so that when you're driving down the highway, you see AT&T Stadium. That's it for me, man. That's my reaction from this past week. Tomorrow, no tape. Man, we might. You know me. I like certain things via tape. Maybe we'll look at some, but it ain't a lot. I watch a lot of the tape. Maybe I will. Hey, Deshaun, maybe I will go look at the defense because there wasn't a whole lot of offense. But we'll look at something tomorrow to keep this thing going. We are slowly but surely though ratcheting up towards draft type of situation, off-season type situation. I hate this. I don't like anything about this in November before Thanksgiving. But I don't want to spam the community with the draft just yet because we got guys that are really doing this thing. I think y'all should go watch obviously Vach and Tuck and Foots, and Foots is working with Double Move, Zach. So those guys are really doing the draft stuff. I might start to look in towards the other offseason. Y'all know that's what I love to do as well, not just the draft. We'll probably have to start doing that because, brother, it's getting rough. It's getting tough out here, man. It's getting tough out here. Do me a favor, though. If you enjoyed today's show, please hit that like button on the way out. Share this with your Cowboys friend, family, and foe. Y'all know what it is. I'm going to press the button, but this is what we need.
Push the goddamn button. Push the goddamn button.
Do you want a revolution? Come on, do you want a revolution?
Sick and tired of my brothers killing each other. Sick and tired of daddies leaving babies with their mothers. To every man that wanna lay around and play around. Listen, funny, you be man enough to stay around. Sick and tired of the church talking religion, but yet we talk about each other. Make a decision. No more racism.
No.
Two racism.
No.
No pollution.
No.
No solution.
No, a revolution. Come on. Yes, sir. Listen, do you want a revolution? I say, do you want a revolution? Come on. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Listen, do you want a revolution? I say, do you want a revolution?
No crime. No doubt.
Shout out to the bro Lee. Love you, bro.
Everybody's trying
That's right.
to make a dollar.